Before we start the class?
Yes.
I will
Yes, sir.
I'll speak the roll number, and only the person whom I ask the roll number, she will be the only person who will read. Otherwise no one is going to ask me, sir, whom watch you. I'll read, ask the roll number to read. So am I clear?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. So today we are going to start with a new chapter. All of you, please take out your textbook, lesson number 15, air around us.
Good morning,
Done.
sir.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning. So are we all on page number 147, chapter number 15, air around us?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so we'll start with today's chapter. Let me give you an introduction about this chapter. What is this all chapter all about? In this chapter, we are going to learn or try to understand about what is air and what all consists of air. Why do we need air? Also, of course, its importance of air. Where do we use air, and many more. So we'll start with the chapter. We all know that air is a very essential part of our life. We cannot live without air. We can live without water for some time, but without air, it's difficult to live or breathe for even for 5 minutes. If it goes off, we will all die. So air is very important to us, but we should understand that how we can take care of air. In the last chapter, we learned how we can take care of water, how to conserve water. In this chapter, we learn about the importance of air and also how we can take care of air around us. So starting with roll number 35. कौन छे?
Lakhani Taskin.
Yes, sir.
Lakhani Taskin, can you please read?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Start.
Lesson number 15. Air around us. We have we have learned in chapter 9 that all living thing require air. But have you ever seen an air? You might you might not have seen a air, but
Surely.
surely you must have felt is present in so many ways. You notice it when the leaves of the trees rustle or the clothes having no having hanging no a cloth leaves save page of any upon book began but with an fan is
Switched on.
switch on the moving and moving and makes it possible for you to fly your kite. Do you remember activity 3? Activity 3 in chapter 5 in which you
Separated.
separated the sand and sawdust by windows, winnowing Winnowing is more effective in morning air
Moving air,
and
beta, moving air.
moving air. You may have noticed that during storms the wind blows at a very height, high, high speed. It may vary even approach trees and below of the roftly rooftop.
Rooftop. Thank you. Thank you, beta. Thank
Rooftop.
you. Thank you. Uh, as she was reading, she was giving an introduction about the chapter. How do we feel air? We all know that we cannot see air, but of course we can feel air. Has anyone seen air? कोई हवा જોઈ
No.
છે?
No.
Okay.
No.
So we have all know that we haven't seen air, but of course we have felt air. How do we feel air? एयर किस तरीके से महसूस होती है?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, रोल नंबर 30. Can you tell me? आफरीन जहरा. आफरीन जहरा. Okay. One more instruction to all of you, those who are listening. जो कोई भी सुन रहा है, प्लीज अपनी अटेंडेंस देने के बाद क्लास छोड़ के ना जाएं. कभी भी आपका नंबर आ सकता है. एंड आई विल मेक ए नोट ऑफ ऑल दोज रोल नंबर्स हु आर नॉट आंसरिंग. नेटवर्क इशू है, दैट इज अ डिफरेंट केस. बट इफ नेटवर्क इशू नहीं है और अगर आप रिप्लाई नहीं कर रहे हो, इट मीन्स आप आए हो, अटेंडेंस दी है और आप चले गए हो. ये ऑनलाइन क्लास का मकसद नहीं है कि आप आओ और फिर उसके बाद कोई पार्टिसिपेशन ना करो. सो बी
सर
वेरी
आफरीन
केयरफुल
जरा
अबाउट इट.
क्लास में है. आफरीन जरा क्लास में है.
It's okay. We all know that we can feel air. We have seen moving trees, sorry, leaves moving. हमने अपने कपड़े उड़ते हुए देखे हैं, बाल उड़ते हैं जब हवा चलती है. So these are the different indicators which says that air, we can feel air. We cannot see the air, but we can see its effect. The moving air has its own effects. So apart from that, अभी थोड़े दिनों पहले we flew kites, right? पतंग चगाई है ना सबने.
Yes.
Now, flying
Yeah.
kite is not possible without moving air. If air does not move, we will not be able to fly the kites. If air does not move, birds and animals, it would be difficult for birds to fly also if there is no air. So these are all the indicators that air keeps moving continuously. Now, roll number 18.
Yes.
Can you please read activity 2?
Yes. Activity 2. Take an empty open bottle. Is it really empty or does it have something inside? Turn it upside down. Is something inside it now? Now dip the open mouth of the bottle into the bucket filled with water as shown in figure 15.4. Observe the bottle. Does water enter the bottle? Now tilt the bottle slightly. Does the water now enter the bottle? Do you see bubbles coming out of the bottle or hear any bubbly sound? Can you now use what was in the bottle? Yes, you are right. It is air that was present in the bottle. The bottle was not empty at all. In fact, it was filled completely with air, even when you turned it upside down. That is why you notice that water does not enter the bottle when it is pushed in an inverted position, as there was no space for air to except when the bottle was titled, the air was able to come out in the form of bubbles, and water filled up the empty space that the air has occupied. This activity shows that air occupies space, it fills all the space in the bottle, it is present and everywhere around us. Air has no color and one can see through it. It is transparent. Our earth is surrounded by a thin layer of air. This layer extends up to many kilometers above the surface of the earth and is called atmosphere. As we have moved higher in the atmosphere, the air gets rarer. Now, can
Thank you.
you think,
Thank you,
mountain?
beta. Thank you. Thank you. Now, the next question that is asked or arises is air present everywhere? We
Yes,
all
sir.
know. Yeah? We can say,
Yes, sir.
okay, we can say yes or no, but do we have any proof or can we do any activity by which we can prove that air is present everywhere?
Yes,
We all
sir.
know, we all know we can go anywhere and we can breathe. So that means air is present everywhere, wherever we go. But if we go and take a dip in the water, पानी में अगर आप डुबकी लगाए, in that case we will not be able to breathe. So क्या पानी के अंदर भी हवा है?
सर एयर को है ना जगह चाहिए
Okay, air needs space.
Yes.
Yes.
तो पानी में जगह नहीं होती है
पानी में जगह नहीं होती है. पानी में तो पूरा पानी खाली होता है ना. पानी में क्या होता है तो?
लेकिन सर ना पूरा
Okay, air is present inside the water, but it's very less quantity of water, air that is dissolved in water. हवा के पानी के अंदर हवा होती नहीं है, but कुछ हिस्सा हवा का जो होता है वो घुला हुआ होता है उसके अंदर, which is used by fish and other aquatic animals to breathe. They use gills. We use lungs. They use gills to breathe in. Now, there is an activity that is given here, which says that take an empty bottle and put it inside the container filled with water. Now, if you put it inside the container filled with water with the head down, in that case, if we tilt a water, थोड़ी सी अगर हम bottle को टेढ़ी करें, हमने सबने ये activity करी होगी. If we tilt a little bit, we will find that bubbles comes out of the water. This shows that water of the bottle was not empty. Actually, there was a there was air inside that bottle, which came out when we put it in bucket filled with water. Now, this activity indicates that almost air is present everywhere, wherever we go. And another property about air is that air is transparent. We can see through air. We can see through air. If we look at upside, we can see the sky. So, do you know what is the meaning of transparent?
यस जिसको
yes.
हाँ, वो
फुल
चीजें
साइकिल
कि जिसके आर पार देखा जा सकता है उसको हम ट्रांसपेरेंट कहते हैं. सो एयर इज ट्रांसपेरेंट. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट समवन सेड इन योर क्लास दैट एयर नीड्स स्पेस. ऑफ कोर्स एयर नीड स्पेस. ये कैसे पता चलेगा कि एयर नीड स्पेस? कैन वी थिंक ऑफ एनी एक्टिविटी विच इंडिकेट्स दैट एयर नीड स्पेस?
सर बलून के अंदर हम लोग हवा भरते हैं ना तो वो
ओके.
बलून के अंदर हमको स्पेस चाहिए होती है इसलिए वो
ओके, एयर नीड्स स्पेस. ऑफ कोर्स वी कैन. अगर जो घर के अंदर गैस के सिलेंडर्स आते हैं, है या नहीं, ये सबके सिलेंडर्स होंगे. नाउ उस
यस
सिलेंडर
सर
के अंदर आप एक लिमिट में गैस भर सकते हो, उसके बाद आप और ज्यादा गैस नहीं भर सकते हो. सिमिलरली द केस विद योर स्कूटर और कार्स टायर. You can only fill that tire with certain amount of air. Afterwards, it will burst. All these activity indicates that air needs space and it occupies space. So till now, I hope we are all clear about what is air. And the air is transparent. Its property, it needs space, and also it is everywhere. Now, one more thing before we move forward, air surrounding our earth, we call that is atmosphere. Air surrounding us is called atmosphere. Now, as we move higher, it means if we go up or if we climb any mountain, air starts getting thin. The quantity of air is maximum close to the surface of the earth. And as we move up, it starts getting thinner and thinner. The quantity starts decreasing. यानी सबसे ज्यादा जो हवा है, जो एयर है, वो हमारे अर्थ के एटमॉस्फेयर के, सॉरी, हमारे अर्थ के सरफेस के पास है. जैसे जैसे हम ऊपर चढ़ते हैं या ऊपर की तरफ जाते हैं, चाहे आप पहाड़ चढ़ो या कोई बड़ी सी बिल्डिंग चढ़ो, जब आप बहुत ऊपर जाते हो तो उस केस में हवा जो है कम होनी शुरू हो जाती है. उसकी जो क्वांटिटी है वो कम होनी शुरू हो जाती है. So we learned three things. First one was air is everywhere. Second one was air needs space. Third, air is transparent. And the last one, the earth, air surrounding our earth is called atmosphere.
Yes.
Okay. Roll number
So can
51. Roll number 51.
can I roll number 16, please?
No, beta. No, not now. I told you in the beginning,
सर
where the roll numbers. Yes.
सर इसीलिए मुंबई में है ना ठंड थोड़ी कम पड़ती है.
हम्म, इसके बारे में हम बात करेंगे, मुंबई में ठंड क्यों कम पड़ती है. राइट. आप सोच के रखो कि इसकी वजह से ठंड कम पड़ती है, कोई और वजह है मुंबई में ठंड कम पड़ने की. थिंक अबाउट
Sir,
इट.
can I read, please?
नो बेटा, रोल
28
नंबर, आई वांट ओनली रोल नंबर 51. अर्जा फातिमा.
Sir, absent.
शी गेव हर रोल नंबर, उसने रोल नंबर लिखा है इसके अंदर. 51 इज रिटन हियर. ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम.
Yes, sir.
रोल नंबर 46. रोल नंबर 46.
Yes sir. Yes sir.
Page number 148. What is air
Yes.
made up of? Please read
Yes.
it.
15.2. What is air made up of?
बेटा एक
Until the
मिनट, एक
eight.
मिनट, एक मिनट, एक मिनट, एक मिनट. आप अपना मुंह जो है ना माइक से थोड़ा सा दूर रखो. योर वॉइस विल बी क्लियर.
Okay.
ओके.
Until the 18th century, people thought that air was just one substance. Experiments have proved that it is really not so. Air is a mixture of many gases. What kind of a mixture it is? Let us find out about some of the major components of this mixture one by one. Water vapor. We have learnt earlier that air contains water vapor. We also saw that when air comes in contact with a cool surface, it condenses and drops of water appear on the cool surfaces. The presence of water vapor in air is important for the water cycle in nature.
Okay.
Oxygen.
Thank you. Thank you. Uh, thank you, Amina. Now, the next question that arises for all of us is, what is air made up of? We all know that air is made, we know air, we cannot see air, we can only feel air. But the next question that arises is, what is air made up of? So earlier scientists or everyone used to think that air is made up of only one component. खाली एक ही चीज से air बना हुआ है. But afterwards, when experiments started, scientists started doing experiments, and directly or indirectly, they came to know that air is not made up of one component, but actually it's a mixture of many gases and other things. Apart from gas, there are many other things also that is present in air. So how do we find out which things are present in it and which things are not present in it? So step by step, we found out that the first thing that is present is water vapor. If you can remember what we learned in the last chapter about condensation, evaporation, do you remember these words?
Yes, sir.
Okay. During condensation, what happens is water starts getting collected from vapor, it gets converted into water. So if you take a glass of water and put some ice into it, the outer surface of the glass has small water droplets. These water droplets are have come from atmosphere. They were in the form of gas and it got converted due to coolness. They got converted into water in the liquid state. So this activity shows that the first thing, the atmosphere or the air that we are talking about has water vapors in it. Now, do you know that according to some scientists' calculation, if we take all the water from the atmosphere, if we take all the water from the atmosphere and converts it into liquid state, there will be close to 4 inch or more water on all the part of the earth. हिंदी में समझाओ. Say yes or no.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
uh, हमारे एटमॉस्फेयर के अंदर इतना सारा पानी है जो वेपर्स फॉर्म में है कि कुछ साइंटिस्टों के कुछ कैलकुलेशन के हिसाब से अगर वो सारा पानी, सारी भाप जो है जितनी भी एटमॉस्फेयर में है, जो नमी जिसको हम कहते हैं, अगर उसको हम लिक्विड स्टेट में कन्वर्ट कर दें तो हमारी पूरी जमीन पर पानी ही पानी हो जाएगा. इतना पानी हो जाएगा कि हमारे घुटनों तक या 4 इंच तक पानी रहेगा. हम इतना पानी जमीन पे आ जाएगा सिर्फ एटमॉस्फेयर के सारा पानी अगर हमने हटा दिया तो. हम समंदर के पानी की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, खाली हमारी हवा में जो पानी है उसकी बात कर रहे हैं. सो दिस एक्टिविटी, जो वट एवर द एक्टिविटी वी डिड अर्लियर अबाउट द फाइंडिंग ऑफ वाटर वेपर, द कंडेंसेशन वाली एक्टिविटी, this shows that water vapor is in the atmosphere, and that is also a part of air. Moving on to roll number 4. Conan Fatima. Roll number 4. Okay, no problem. Roll number 57.
Yes, sir.
Can you please read?
Oxygen. In the presence of your teacher, fix two small candles of the same length of table. Light both the candles. Cover one of the candles with an inverted glass tumbler. Observe both the candles carefully. Do both the candles continue to burn or go? You must have observed that the candle covered with glass tumbler got extinguished after some time, whereas the other candle continued burning. What can be the reason for this? Think about it. It seems that the candle got extinguished because the component inside of the glass tumbler which supports burning is limited. Most of the component is used up by the burning candles. However, the other candle is getting continued supply of air. This component of air which supports burning is known as oxygen.
Thank you. Now, another component that is present in the air is oxygen. How do we know that it is an oxygen? Now, we all know that we need, if we want to survive or we want to live, we need oxygen. We inhale oxygen and we exhale carbon dioxide. So this one is clear that we get two gases. First one is oxygen and the second one is carbon dioxide. Now, if we take a dip in the water, we cannot breathe. If we come out, we can breathe. This is a simple activity to find out whether oxygen is also a part of atmosphere, because in atmosphere there is a gas and we need oxygen, so it means that oxygen is present inside the atmosphere. They have done an activity. What they did was they took two candles, they lit those candles, and on one candle they placed a glass. You can use transparent glass through which you can see. After some time, the candle which had a transparent glass on it, it stops burning and it gets exhausted. Now this shows that inside the glass there was an air. It used that air and oxygen was over. Once the oxygen was over, it got exhausted. It means oxygen supports burning, and also oxygen is also present in atmosphere. So this activity shows that two properties of oxygen we get came to know. The first one is there is one gas which does not support burning, and there is one gas which supports burning. So the gas which supports burning is oxygen, and the gas which does not support burning is nitrogen. We will learn about nitrogen in the next topic. So by this activity, we can prove that there is one more compound present in the atmosphere, and that we named it as oxygen. So the first thing was water vapor, second thing was oxygen. Now moving on to roll number 11.
Yes, sir.
Can you please read nitrogen section?
Yes, sir. Nitrogen. In activity 3, did you observe that air is still present in the glass bottle even after the candle blew out? This indicates the presence of some component in the air which does not support burning. The major part of air which does not support burning candle is nitrogen, carbon
So
dioxide.
beta, wait. So the first thing we learned about that there is a gas which supports burning, and the second thing there is also a gas which does not support burning. So the second thing which does not support burning, the gas we called named it as nitrogen. Now nitrogen is a very important and maximum its quantity is maximum in our atmosphere. It's close to 78% of our atmosphere is made up of nitrogen gas. 21% is made up of oxygen, and only 1% which remains, that consists of all the other gases, which includes other dust particles, materials, and all these things. Now, if nitrogen is 78% and we do not use nitrogen, then where is nitrogen used? You will learn about it in higher classes that where nitrogen is used. But for now, I can tell you that the Bablu packets, the Kurkure packets, the Lay's packets, the chips packets, all the food items that are packed, they use nitrogen gas. Have you seen all of you? There is a gas inside a packet.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Uh,
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
that
sir.
that gas is nitrogen. Now, what does nitrogen do? Nitrogen does not allow food to get spoiled. So that is one of the use of nitrogen, and it is used to in food packets. Not only in this chips and all, there are many other food items that uses nitrogen as a preservative. We call it as a preservative. So nitrogen is a very important gas, and another property of nitrogen is it does not support burning. If something is burning and you put that burning thing in a nitrogen, it will stop burning. But if something is not burning and if you blow oxygen in it, it starts burning faster. So oxygen supports burning and nitrogen does not support burning. Next roll number 34, Sakina.
Last one is Sakina.
Yes,
Can you please read carbon dioxide
सर
section?
किधर से रीड करने का है मेरे को नेटवर्क इशू था ना इसीलिए लेफ्ट हो गई थी
Okay, page number 149, carbon dioxide section.
ओके सर carbon dioxide in a closed room if there is some material that is burning you may have felt suffocation this is due to excess of carbon dioxide that may be accumulating in the room as the burning continues. Carbon dioxide make up a small component of air around us. Plants and animals consume oxygen for respiration and produce carbon dioxide. Plant and animal matter also consumes oxygen on burning and produce mainly carbon dioxide and a few other gases. It is divisible, not
Advisable.
dry leaves and discard remains of crop which pollute our surroundings.
Okay,
Dust
thank
and
you.
smoke.
Thank you, beta. Thank you. Now, the second component that we came to know was carbon dioxide. Now, you burn paper, you burn plastics, we all burn papers and plastics and leaves and wood. Now, the black color smoke or the whitish smoke that comes out when we burn is a carbon
carbon
dioxide.
dioxide.
Now, how do we find out that carbon dioxide is used for extinguishing? sorry, it is burning supporting or it does not support burning. Now, there are many activities which we can do in order to find out whether it supports burning or it does not support burning. But we'll not go into that activity. But one thing is for sure, if you are kept in a room where there is a lot of carbon dioxide, you will feel suffocation. अगर हम लोगों को ऐसे रूम में रख दिया जाए कि जहां पर बहुत सारी कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड है तो हमें घुटन होनी शुरू हो जाएगी, राइट? दिस हैपेंस अगर आप किसी कंजेस्टेड जगह पर चले जाते हो जहां बहुत सारे लोग छोटे से रूम में अगर हैं, तो उस केस में यू फील सफोकेटिंग. नाउ दैट मीन्स दैट एवरीवन इज एक्सहेलिंग कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, so the quantity of carbon dioxide is more compared to oxygen, and as soon as we come out we get fresh air. That fresh air has oxygen and we feel refreshed. So carbon dioxide is also a important part of this our atmosphere, because we need oxygen, animals need oxygen, but plants need carbon dioxide. So most of the plants inhale carbon dioxide and exhale oxygen. इनहेल का मतलब सांस अंदर लेना और एक्सहेल का मतलब सांस बाहर छोड़. इस प्रोसेस को इनहेल एक्सहेल हम कहते हैं. नाउ प्लांट्स एक्सहेल यानी कि कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड प्लांट्स अंदर लेते हैं और ऑक्सीजन बाहर रिलीज करते हैं. एंड वी ह्यूमन बींग्स एंड एनिमल्स डू द ऑपोजिट ऑफ व्हाट प्लांट्स डू. वी इनहेल ऑक्सीजन एंड एक्सहेल कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. So carbon dioxide is a very important gas that is present in our atmosphere. So carbon dioxide has one more property, but that you will learn in higher classes. It traps sunlight and it helps in increasing the Earth's temperature. We call it greenhouse effect. It's not a part of your syllabus, but just for your information. So apart from that, we should stop burning wood and many other items which causes pollution.
So
Roll
can
number,
I roll number 6?
roll number 28, Sama.
Yes, sir.
Can you read dust and smoke section?
Yes, sir. The burning of fuel also produces smoke. The smoke contains a few gases and fine dust particles and is often harmful. That is why you see long chimneys in factories. This takes the harmful smoke and gas away from our nose, but brings it closer to the birds flying up in the sky. Dust particles are always present in air. Activity
Okay,
4.
thank you. Thank you. Now, what are the last thing that we observed was dust particles and smoke. Now, dust particles means and the smoke, these are always present in our atmosphere. Dust particles and smoke is an example that you can see when you look at a factory. It produces a lot of smoke. ઘણો બધો ધુવાડો નીકળતો હોય છે. When you look at factories, they start burning wood and many other items, and it produces a lot of smoke. Now, that smoke is actually harmful and suffocating for human beings. That is the reason why there are chimneys in a factory which directly sends these gases in an upper part of the atmosphere. Suppose if these chimneys are not there, it will create a lot of atmospheric pollution and it will be very difficult for us to breathe. So dust particles, it means જે ધૂળના નાના નાના કંકર હોય છે, ધૂળ જેને કહીએ છીએ આપણે, जैसे धूल कहते हैं, वो धूल और धुआं ये हमेशा एटमॉस्फेयर में ही रहता है. एंड इफ इट इंक्रीजेस, it produces burning sensation in our nostril, and we have to use mask in order to prevent it. You can see the case in Delhi, where due to burning of crops in the northern part of India, there is a lot of pollution, and it is difficult for people to breathe there. Even if they are breathing, it produces a lot of burning sensation in their nose. आप लोगों ने दिल्ली की न्यूज़ सुनते ही होंगे ना, इसके अंदर पोल्यूशन की वजह से कितना सारा जो है लोगों को सांस लेने में तकलीफ हो रही है. दैट ये जो तकलीफ हो रही है, ये उन लोग वहां पर जितना पोल्यूशन है जिसकी वजह से लोग जब सांस लेते तो उनकी नाक में जलन होती है. सो दिस इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ डस्ट एंड स्मोक दैट इज आल्सो प्रेजेंट इन आवर atmosphere. Does anyone has any doubt?
No, sir, no doubt.
No, sir.
Okay, I can understand that there are many students whose turn did not came, but it was a random pick, and maybe next time your turn will come. Today we will keep this chapter up till here only. So we have learned a few things about the introduction. Now no one is leaving. Listen to me. Let me wrap up the chapter. We learned about the air, importance of air, and how air surrounds us, and we call it as atmosphere. Apart from that, we learned about the property of air also. Air is transparent, air needs space, and we cannot see air, but we can feel air. Also, we learned that air is, earlier we used to think that air is made up of only one thing, but after few research and experiments and scientific research, we found out that air is made up of water vapor, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, dust and smoke. And there are many other gases as well, which is a part of our air. Now, tomorrow or whenever we'll meet, inshallah. I want all of you to watch videos about air pollution, or forget about air pollution, just watch the video about the importance and uses of air. Is this homework clear to everyone?
Sir, please write in
Yes,
chat
sir.
box.
ओके आप लोगों को वीडियोस देखनी है
Yes,
यूट्यूब
sir.
के ऊपर जिसके अंदर ये बताया गया है इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ एयर.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we will end this session today here. Thank you
Okay,
all
sir.
of you.
Okay,
Khuda
sir.
Hafiz.
Bye bye.
Khuda Hafiz.
Bye, sir.
Bye bye, sir.
Bye.
Bye bye, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye.
Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz.
Bye, sir.
Bye.